Live from the City of Angels, it's Sunday night. Time for the Sunday Evening Spectacular. Tonight, you're listening to a track from, if you can believe this, Clown in a Cornfield. It's got a cool soundtrack. This is Haiku Hands Bye Bye. It's got a great energy to it. I think I'm taking this to the gym with me tomorrow. I like it. We got a busy night, but I don't know how long I can go because I've got Mission Impossible 8 tomorrow night live. Reaction out of theater early. This is not a review style. Coming up tomorrow night. About 10 o'clock here in LA. That means 1 a.m. on the East Coast. I'll be on with a quick thought or two about the film. I expect it to be good. I mean, Paramount invited me. Isn't that a thing, right? Whenever a studio says, let's invite Weber, you know that they have a hell of a lot of confidence in it. So here we go, guys. We're going to do the live MMT evaluation of Clown in a Cornfield, a film that I was a little surprised by. So I look forward to that coming up. Also, the studio, episode 8, which is the Golden Globes. I've been multiple times. This episode's good. A return to form for that series we'll discuss. Also, Mission Impossible, yes, tomorrow night. We're going to start with Cruise here in a minute, but I do want to get into the state of theatrical because let me tell you something. The state of theatrical is strong, everybody. And if you don't believe me, I am going to show you the proof of it right now as we go to a tweet I sent out earlier. And I found this stat that I think is very important to hammer home here tonight. Domestic box office is up nearly 16% versus last year. And we are not yet at Mission Impossible 8 or Lilo and Stitch. Those two films are going to combine for a hellaciously huge weekend coming up here in a couple of weeks. But we are flying, we are soaring, and it's great news because earlier this year, remember, we were all like, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, all those streams I did discussing how the state of theatrical was weak was accurate. But now we've turned the corner thanks to a couple of films, right? Number one, clearly Sinners. Sinners nearing 300 million worldwide. 200 million plus stateside. And then you look at Thunderbolts / New Avengers / Thundercocks. And that film is doing pretty solid. I mean, not by Marvel standards, but still, it's bringing people into the theater. Give me a second. I forgot. I've got to engage the Sunday night shades. I forgot last week. It'll never happen again. I will always have the pink shields in effect here on Sunday night. Thanks for being here live, as always, from the City of Angels. If I try to do the Batman voice more than that, it'll go. I will have no voice the remainder of this roughly hour here tonight. Trying to get some rest ahead of tomorrow night's massive stream as we have the out-of-theater reaction for Mission Impossible 8. Let's do this. Let's get into Tom Cruise and our cinema champion of the week. This is a man that is on a mission. He always is in front of film saying you need to go to the movie theaters. Remember, he was the guy who went to see Tenet in London when we were told if you go to the movies, everyone you know will die. He said, I'll put a mask on and I will go to the movie theater just like I did. Hopefully you did. You didn't buy into the fear porn. We don't buy into fear porn here on MMT. If you want to buy into the fear porn, follow your boy Frosty the Shill Bitch. Okay? Follow that bitch. Hopefully I see that bitch tomorrow night. Fucking Shill Boy. Frosty. I mean, I'm not going to start anything, but he is absolutely the Shill Bitch. And if he wants to say something, I'm right there tomorrow night. Feel free to come up, boy. That's all I got to tell you. Because you were the guy. And why am I saying this? Why is Weber attacking him? Why am I attacking Frosty just quickly? Because he was the guy who said, oh, it's not safe. Don't go to movie theaters. He's the reason we almost didn't have movies. Because that scaredy-ass little loser was saying, stay home or everyone's going to die. Here's the deal. Stay home. We're not going to miss you. We're not doing this shit again. So let me tell you, we are all in on Tom Cruise for a number of reasons here tonight. Obviously, Mission Impossible 8 coming out here next weekend, right? Not this coming weekend, Oxt weekend. I heard that as the second weekend, Oxt, O-X-T. I like it. We got to come up with something in 2 weekends. And that film is not going to get bulldozed by Barbenheimer like the last installment was. A terrible release date on that film. Okay? And when you look at where that film dropped, it was the week before we got Barbenheimer. Now, Paramount didn't quite know that Barbenheimer was going to do the gargantuan numbers. We knew it'd be big. But when they first scheduled it, they said, okay, this is all, I think we can all get along. Nah, didn't happen, okay? This time around, you've got the synergistic play of Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible. So you've got a Barbenheimer-like kind of thing going on where you have, I think in this case, though, Oppenheimer was not a 4-quad film, right? When you look at Mission Impossible, it is a 4-quad film. You're going to get parents taking their younger kids in. I mean, it's not an R-rated film. We saw them go to see Deadpool Wolverine. Of course, they're going to go see Mission Impossible 8. So when you look at that coming up, we are ready to really crank the heat up as we have here in Los Angeles over the past couple of days. It's been 95 degrees here. Oh, my God. Crushing the air conditioner. Brutal. But let's get back to Tom Cruise. As you can see, he's on, yep, that's him, on top of the BFI IMAX in London. Let's watch a little bit of this. Can you see him there? Yep, at the top. Everyone's like, what the hell? That's Tom Cruise, because he is fearless, as we know. Performs his own stunts that we've seen over and over throughout the Mission Impossible franchise. So there he is on top. And if you want to know what this thing is, if you don't live in London, I'm just doing the research. The biggest IMAX apparently in the entire UK. There it is. And you can see it's pretty damn tall. And he's on top of the roof there. Looks nice in there. I want to visit one day. This is now going to be a trip for me. Can we crowdsource my visit to BFI IMAX in London? Literally fly in, walk in, watch a movie, and then leave. That's the entire trip. Just go and that's it. I've heard some things about London that is not as good as it used to be. Last time I was there was like 2003. It's been over 20 years since I was in London. I liked it the first time around, but they'll love me with all of my football kits, right? I got Arsenal on tonight, for God's sake. I'd fit in perfectly. Hopefully I wouldn't get jumped by another fan, right? Crystal Palace hooligan jumps me, or Chelsea, or any number, Millwall, any number of Charlton in the playoffs right now. I get jumped. I'm just like, I'm the kit guy. I like these things. Why are you punching me, man? But this place looks awesome. This looks really good. You got a really steep incline there and that massive screen. But that's Tom Cruise on top, getting ready for the release of this film, doing the globe-trotting promotional tour for this film. I want to watch a second of this. If you didn't see, Tom Cruise, he was asked at a press conference for MI8 about Trump and the tariffs and, fining Hollywood for taking these movies overseas. I think it's a fair question, but here's why, reason number 2, that Tom Cruise is our cinema champion here tonight. It's a litany of reasons, but it's because of the answer he gives. The journalist essentially will listen to a little bit of the question, says, what do you think about Trump and the tariffs? And as you guys know, the typical Hollywood response would be, Trump's a bastard, piece of shit, screw him, he's ruining everything. Now, if you believe that, that's your prerogative, okay? But if you don't believe that, it's also your prerogative. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're selling tickets to a movie, you better not piss off one half of the audience. At least half. That's not smart business. And Tom Cruise knows that. And what am I all about? Business. I try to limit the politics. Yes, we get into it here and there. It happens. But in general, I am a journalist. You guys know that. I am, at the end of the day, the most objective voice in this entire space. There is nobody that comes close. Not one person. And they can say whatever. All the haters, I fucking dominate you every day. Remember that. But one thing I also dominate you on is that I'm objective. And the fact that Cruise gives this answer when asked about Trump is why he is our cinema champion, because he's saving cinema by answering it this way. Have a listen.
And of course, we all are aware of the tariffs that President Donald Trump has been imposing on overseas productions and films. So is this particular movie under that tariff? And also, how much of the film was shot overseas?
Okay, he looked over at McQuarrie and the producers and everyone else, the cast, and now I'm going to crank this so we can try to listen. We'd rather answer a question about the movie. Thank you.
I think that's a fair answer. All right.
And then he stops. McQuarrie looks there. Listen, that is the diplomatic answer. That is the correct answer. And for that, Tom Cruise, you are without question here tonight our cinema champion, and frankly deserves to be enshrined in MMT's Cinema Champion Hall of Fame, because he understands that the audience is not all one-sided. The audience is complex. The audience goes both ways. And because of that, he answered the question diplomatically and I think very politely, and he keeps the audience intact for his movie. And that's what we're trying to do. I told you this when I went back to Pedro Pascal when he was talking about J.K. Rowling, that whole thing. I'm telling you, if I have a star and I could be an agent, I'd be a fucking brilliant agent. Let me tell you what I would tell every client. Don't talk politics. Leave it out. I know you think that everyone wants to hear the hard left response out here in Hollywood. Maybe they do, but I'm also here to tell you, you're trying to sell tickets to the other side, and you better play both sides of the coin. If you don't, you're going to suffer at the box office. And again, that is why Tom Cruise is several steps ahead and our cinema champion here on this Sunday night. Quick comments on Cruise, and then we're getting right into tonight's MMT evaluation of Clown in a Cornfield. Now, you're saying, why are we doing it so early? Because I like the film. Because there's a lot to talk about with Clown in a Cornfield I was not anticipating. So I'm looking forward to that, in addition to the studio episode 8. That's coming up. And we're also going to watch some trailers. We also have Shia LaBeouf going off on all manner of things. We have a bunch of things to discuss here tonight. Tom Cruise knows that if he says something negative about Trump, the MAGA faithful might cancel him. Tom, here's the thing. Even if you don't like MAGA, even if you think that he's the worst thing, he's Hitler, whatever you want to do, that's your prerogative. Again, here's what I'm telling you. If you're selling tickets, you gotta play both sides. And Cruise gets it. That's why some of you would fail miserably in the real world if you had to promote something, because you'd get all political and then people would be like, wait, what the hell? And one of the things I think to our detriment in a way, right? Because the algorithm here, YouTube X, they love somebody who's all tribal. I am 100% all left or all right. I'm woke or I'm anti-woke. I am neither. Therefore, we will forever be the home of true objective journalism in this space. Do I go off on things? Yes, but ultimately it's fair. That's the difference between me and everyone else in the space, and why I have picked Tom Cruise, not just because of Mission Impossible 8 on the way, can't wait to see it tomorrow night, but the fact that he understands the game, and that's how you play it, okay? You gotta get this shit. You've got to remove your tendency to say something and fly off the handle and then piss off somebody, and then it turns into a Rachel Zegler situation with Snow White, okay? We just don't need it. I don't need it. That's not our job. Your job's to act like Snow White. I don't need you talking about politics. In fact, zip your mouth. Let's suture it shut. You don't need to open your mouth about politics, Rachel. You need to do your job, which is an actress, and that is it. That's where it ends. If you want to be a political voice, then drop acting and go into politics. Start a podcast. Go off. Be woke. I don't care. Not as my movie star. You're not going to do it. Sodfic, I still remember when Cruz was blacklisted for a small period of time because of the stuff he was saying during his peak Scientology days. Also remember that whole thing with Lauer when he got into it about vaccines, and now we've seen that kind of come around, right, that conversation. So he is, listen, one thing I love about Cruz is very smart man, right? And also he is outspoken. He said some things that got him in trouble, and he didn't care. Yeah, he was semi-canceled, Zodvik. Remember back to Tropic Thunder. One of the reasons he took Les Grossman that role is because he couldn't get any roles. Like in the mid-2000, like 05, 4, 3, all in that range, right? Right after that, he got into the Scientology. People were like, we're done with Cruz. And we thought maybe he'd be done. But time heals all wounds, right? Not for Ziegler, but for everybody else, okay? And as such, Cruz is now as powerful, if not more powerful, than he's ever been because he is all about movies. And of course, we love him for that. All right, guys, let's do it. Let's do the MMT evaluation live here of Clown in a Cornfield. And you're saying to yourself, I really don't want to watch an It ripoff / Terrifier. Here's what I need to tell you right now. I sat down, I got my ticket. I'm so excited, not really actually at all, to watch this film. But, then I was pleasantly surprised by what I saw in Clown in a Cornfield. Here is a taste of the trailer here. The MMT evaluation starts now. Oh, can I say this? I'm a big fan of Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It was out in like 2011, 2012. It's a really smart horror comedy, and it does a lot of interesting things. And I think that if you want to watch a fun film that subverts expectations, you look at Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And some of that is present here. This film is very, very similar to Thanksgiving. Is without question a really clever film. I like the twist that occurs in this film late. Now, this is going to be a very difficult film to talk about because the twist, if I get into that and really break down what I like about it, it's going to ruin your experience with this film. I will just tell you the trailer does not reveal it, and I like it. It's smart. It also has a very strong depiction of small town living, and that always works for me. I am always in on a film that is able to establish the setting, right, of the given film that we are in, the world. And this film does a nice job of taking us to the middle of nowhere, flyover country, and we are introduced here to the teens. And, you know, initially you think it's kind of run-of-the-mill, but then this film opens up and gets into some of that more interesting stuff with that twist. Like I mentioned, I really want to say, but I can't. Just think Thanksgiving, only not sucky. I also like Katie Douglas. She's the young actress who is fronting this thing. She moves to the small town with her doctor dad, and everything's not what it appears, but she has a future, okay? She has a good look. Cute girl, and she also is a strong actress. So I tell you right now, if you want to buy stock in a young actress, I am buying stock in Katie Douglas after watching this small budget horror film, by the way, based on a novel. Apparently was reasonably successful with a young adult audience, but this is really a launching pad for her, this film. Also, you heard it off the top here tonight. The song usage is strong here in this film. A lot of quick insertions of tracks and then pull them down right in and out. I really like how music is used in any film to progress it. So when things start to bog down, bang, here's this, here's that. Not in like a crazy Adderall way, but more of just like, bang, here's one. Let's get this thing and continue it with the momentum going forward so the pacing doesn't lose that momentum going forward. And that's very key. I like the direction here as well from him. I mean, the look of the film is pretty average, but I think it's very competently directed, and it speaks to, again, talent level, being able to bring in music usage. Not every director can do that. I do believe that the finish here is a little bit overboard. Okay, when we get to the twist and then we get to the reveal, it goes on a little too big for me. I would tighten it up just a bit. But overall, man, I'm sitting here watching this film and I do not hate it. I enjoyed my time. In about an hour and 35-minute runtime, I give it an 80%. It's a B minus. I mean, listen, you can do way worse in the horror arena. This is stronger than anything that Sony has put out over the past several years. You look at Thanksgiving, Until Dawn recently, you look at Tarot, you look at Hard Eyes. This is better than all four of those. It is just smarter, it's more fun, and I like this film. So that's why we got to it early. Support it while it's in theaters, because the reality is it didn't do well this weekend. I think it's like 1,600 per, if not less than that. Maybe it's 1,300. It's a low number. When you look at the box office for these smaller films, that's the one part that we don't have back, but we can protect that and get that and restore that and regrow that by what, everybody? Reinstalling Windows. We've got to get to a 45-day window minimum. I want 60. Of course, I want 90. We're not going to get it now, but I will start with 45 to 60, and then we need to get that locked down. It has to happen. So, check it out, guys, and support it in theaters. If you have A-List, get out there and use one of your A-List this week to see Clown in a Cornfield. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, as I was. Saw Clown in a Cornfield on Friday. Nothing special, honestly. Felt sci-fi, but the twist was interesting despite a reveal I saw coming. Yeah, I know. Listen, we all kind of feel that, but still, Luis, I know you're hard on films like me. I still think that this is a much better film than Hard Eyes and Tarot and Until Dawn and Thanksgiving. Okay, now, I understand the bar's low, but still, I think there's a lot of positives to come out of this film, and I speak to the actress, I speak to the music usage, I speak to the small town, the twist. I just like a lot of this, and I would have no problem watching this again down the road as a background kind of film. Not that I plan to, but again, so many times I walk into these things and I'm like, get me to the nearest exit. I don't want to be here. You guys know I walked out of Alto Nights. What was the other one? Was some other small Philippine horror film last week. I just walked out. There is a limit to what I can handle these days. And to be on the side of, hey, man, I'm glad I went to the movie theater today and checked out this Clown in a Cornfield, a film that I would have completely dismissed otherwise. That's what we're trying to do. Get you to see these things. I'm not saying it's the best movie ever. Come on, guys, right? But, I still think, again, strong entry. I enjoyed it. All right, let's continue along here and get to Shia LaBeouf. Or is it Shia? Whichever it is. Shia, tomato. Whichever one, it doesn't matter, okay, guys? Let's start with Shia burying people. He is just burying everyone here. This is from this week, if you guys missed it. I guess, does he have a book coming out? I think he does. I mean, he's trying to get his career back. As you guys know, he's accused of spousal abuse. He's got a lot of stuff going against him. So here he is. He's always been outspoken. This is him on Adam Driver, as we're calling this segment, Shia Buries, and we have more than one. First is Adam Driver. Let's read the tweet here. When I work with Adam Driver, we're on the Megalopolis set. Oh, the fact I have to even say that name again. Coppola's filming, and Adam will do a take, and then he'll go watch the playback on the monitor. That's his way. But what is a lack of trust? I used to be that guy too. He's saying that Driver doesn't trust in who he is and the confidence he has when he is giving his all for the camera. Now, listen, he could be right. Because I think Adam Driver is very erratic when it comes to acting, right? You see him all over the place. Sometimes great, sometimes mid, never really horrible, but you really feel him leaning into things. He's not fantastic in Megalopolis. The film's so bad that it doesn't even matter, truthfully, because even the best performance ever by an actor in a film would never save this film. This is completely irredeemable. This film is dead, okay? But I do understand what he's saying. Let me drill down on that before we get into Shia burying someone else. Here's the thing. I talk about this all the time on this stream. I do it live. Why do I do it live? Because I don't want to second guess it. I don't want to rethink it. I want to go ahead, come out here, shoot, It's over. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to script it. It is all organic. I was not even planning to go off on Frosty Showboy tonight. It just happens. In the moment, I think back to COVID. I think back to him telling everybody, don't go. It's not safe. And that's the kind of person that almost ruined it for everybody. Okay? And you can't have revisionist history. Okay, Frosty? You were part of the problem. You were the fucking problem, bro. I am not the problem. I am the fucking savior, motherfucker. I'm the guy who kept this thing going because I didn't capitulate to the fear that you did. I said, oh, no, you don't. I'm going to go to the movies when everyone said, no, you can't. I told you guys, I was the guy who went up here the street. Oh, I'm telling you, I told you this before. In the middle of COVID, I was the guy who went up to Tin Horn Flats on like a Tuesday night when we were told we can't go out. And there was one bar owner here in Burbank who said, I'm going to keep it open. I don't care about your COVID quote restrictions and laws and decrees. And I went and I had back a beer and a burger and I supported that business. And I do it again right now because that's who I am. I am not somebody who you could tell me you got to do this. Good luck. Okay? Good luck. And if you can't tell that by now, you bet you don't pay attention. Okay? That's what makes me undefeatable. You cannot put me into a cage, baby. I will not stand for it, and I went up the street, and I did it. And here's the deal. You can do it, too. Don't let other people take, oh, no, you can't. Oh, you should. No, don't should me. How about this? I'm going to give you a should. Stay in your fucking lane. How about that? That's what we're going to do. Now I sound like Shia LaBeouf. I'm going off like him. But when you look at what Shia's doing here, you look at him trying to get back in the good graces of Hollywood. I don't have to worry about that. I don't care about being in the good graces of Hollywood. That's what allows me to do what I do on this stream. I can do whatever I want because I'm not worried. Paramount was nice enough to invite me tomorrow night. I'm sure some loser film Twitter person will complain. Good luck. I don't care. I hope I get there and they go, oh, you can't come in because some loser film Twitter person complained. I'll be like, yeah, remind me again. Remember, I tell you again, every time I walk into one of these critic screenings, I look around and go, holy fuck. If this were a bar, I would be going home with all the action. You all be going home to Grindr and whatever other apps going on out there. And that's not even, by the way, a gay thing. That is 100, whatever the fuck people are using to hook up nowadays. So here's the deal, is the reason that people listen to what I have to say is because I am fearless and I will not be told I cannot say this or that or I have to stay home and lock myself in my room. Not happening. Not happening. That's why we're the best. It's easy, man. It's easy to do. But not for someone like Frosty. No, for him it's hard. Because he is all about falling in line with everybody. Oh, I don't want to rankle anyone. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. I want to make sure the stars like me. They don't care about you, dude. They don't give a fuck about you at all. Never did. Okay? So, I wouldn't worry about it. Shia buries number 2. It's Timothy Chalamet. Look at this. This is another one. Shia says on his SAG-AFTRA win, right? Chalamet won at SAGs. He says something like, I want to be great. I so know the feeling. On him, it's cute. On me, it wasn't cute. You know what I'm saying? He's saying there's two standards, which is true. Shia is not cute. I mean, he was, I guess, when he was younger, maybe, and then some roles like on Nickelodeon. But I'm saying not now. He's the villain. And I mean, listen, if he did what he did, the spousal abuse shit, of course. But you get what he's saying, right? He's saying Timothy because he's Golden Boy, right? Timothy Chalamet seems like the nicest kid. I mean, I have some issues with acting. He was really good. His best performance by far is Dylan in A Complete Unknown. But I have some issues with his acting overall. But I think Chalamet seems like a really decent kid, right? Now, a man, really, you still think of him as a kid. He's like 25 now, isn't he? And he has a different lens that people see him through, right? Just like I do in Frosty or anybody else who's in this space. Weber's outspoken. Weber's the loudmouth. Weber's combative. Weber cannot be controlled. Oh my God, he just said Trump's not Hitler. Whatever you want to pick. Whatever you want to pick. I don't care. Because I'm not going to be judged by you. I don't care about you. I'll be at the gym tomorrow dominating. I don't give a shit. Not you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm talking about the film Twitter losers. I'm not worried about them. Listen, I've accomplished more in my life than 99.99% of film Twitter in my life, okay? So I'm not worried about the opinions of people who can't even have the courage to represent themselves in pictorial form on X. I will proudly always represent myself in pictorial form on X because I'm proud of who I am, and I've worked hard. I'm not going to worry about hiding behind a Captain America avatar. I could take off my shirt and look like Captain America. I'm good. That's the difference between me and you. You get it? You hear me? You feel me? Oh, yeah, it's true. Fucking deal with it. Hell yeah. So he's right. He's 100% right. Even though Shia is a little much. But some people will say I am too. What a surprise. Comments on Shia before we move on. He's just trying to get back in the good graces, but this is not really how you do it. He really should start a podcast. He was on with what's his name for accountant too. I saw the little clip. So I know he's doing that. I don't know if he'd be great as a host, right? But he might be good like in my format, just going off on shit, which is essentially all I do, right? Shia's a dangerous dude on camera in real life. Dangerous men are more authentic than fake men. So are you saying I'm dangerous? Maybe that's true, Luis. Maybe it's true. Maybe I am a little bit dangerous. I think certainly in this space, I'm very dangerous compared to the average. Oh, God, come on, man. Compared to the average person who can't even put their face in front of their account because they're too afraid of being judged. Shit, I'll post a shirtless picture as soon as the stream's over, man. I'll make you take off my shirt right now, man. I'll do it. Let's talk about Ben Affleck. He's getting candid here. He was on, who is this guy, Theo Von? I have no idea. I've seen the name pop up. I don't know. Listen, guys, we live in a world that's so fragmented, so atomized, as I say, right? There's so many people in the space that have podcasts and streams, including me. I mean, I'm not going to, dude, like I expect anybody, listen, our audience is niche. I don't walk around pretending I'm superstar man. Even if I were, I wouldn't even do that. I just do my own thing. I'm not worried about it. I told you guys this, and Affleck's coming. Let me just finish this thought. I told you guys, whenever I do the stream, whenever I finish the stream, the next day, when I go to YouTube and I look at YouTube Studio, which is how you look at the stuff, I go, who cares? I don't even care what the views are. I don't care what the likes are. I don't care what the comments are. Well, comments are fun. I sometimes reply, and I usually like most of them. As long as they're, somewhat respectful. But if they're not, then I probably have to get rid of them because it's like, listen, this is my house. If you're going to come into my house, you better be respectful. If Frosty wants to talk shit about me on a stream, he can. I don't give a shit. But if he's going to come in here and start, then I'm going to have to boot him. You understand? So it's like, right, I control this. This is my thing. So don't come into my place. X is not my thing. You want to come in there and start some shit? I'll just block you, move on. I'm not going to worry about it. But the point is that I don't care, and you shouldn't care. And if you go through life caring about who watches, the views, the likes, what your audience is, I don't give a shit. Never did. I never will. Because the win is doing it. The win is you taking action, not the result. It's you taking the actual action. Let's listen to Ben Affleck talk about getting a movie made. It's a long clip. I'm going to pause it, but I think Affleck's really intelligent, right? You got Cruz, you got Affleck, you got two really smart guys here tonight. And listen to what he has to say about making a film and why he decided to start directing with The Town, Argo, and as we've seen over his career.
I wanted to fail on my own terms because I had gone through some movies where I was like, I don't like this, I don't agree with this, but you got to do how it's like playing a football team, whatever. You got to run the plays that the coach sets up. You know what I mean?
Really smart. Everything he just said is perfectly stated, right? When you're in a movie that someone else is directing and controlling, they're saying, I need you here, this is what I need you to do, and that's it. Unless you are someone like Blake Lively. And then they come on the set and say, I'm going to start doing this and that. Oh, no, shots fired. But it's true, right? She's getting in trouble for trying to micromanage or take over a film. So Affleck's like, I've been in films where I have to listen to whatever people say, and I want to do what I want to do. That's why I started my stream. I don't have to listen to anybody. I do whatever I want. That's what he's saying right here, and I love it.
They're going to run a draw play, get the ball and turn around and run a sweep right because they're not blocking that way. You know what I mean? It's just, that's not going to work, right? So that's how that whole art form is sort of structured by and large. And what I found was, I had a real strong sense of the way I wanted to do it. And when it didn't work, when it worked, I didn't feel great because it wasn't me that had that feel. I didn't feel like I didn't feel proud of it. And when
he's talking about the ownership that I literally just discussed going into this, and I wasn't even thinking of tying the things together, but it's exactly what it is. You're creating it, right? And technically, yeah, I'm a creator, right? And you can be one too. There's no rules, okay? You can create whatever you want. Create your own stream. Create your own channel. It doesn't matter, man. The approval of others does not matter. He's saying exactly what I'm telling you here tonight. You need to take control of your life. And when you do, then you feel a sense of accomplishment that nothing can touch. And that's exactly what he's drilling down on when he decided to direct instead of just be an actor.
When it didn't work, I just felt pissed off. Like, fuck, I didn't want to fucking do it. God damn it. I didn't want to, I said it, or I knew it, and that's a terrible feeling. So I'd rather fail on my own terms or succeed on my own terms. And that's where I kind of got into.
Amen. 100%. Everything I talk about here on MMT is exactly what these two are discussing.
Directing, and I wanted to do it even when I was younger, and I just didn't have the confidence. And at a certain point, I kind of had nothing to lose, and that was really what kind of gave me the courage to take.
And you know what? A couple more seconds here. We'll listen to a little bit more, but this is very important what you just said. You need to reach a point where you do not care. You have nothing to lose. I go back to, I tell you guys all the time, when I was at my deepest, darkest depression in 2015, 2016, I was at rock bottom, the nay fucking deer, okay? And when you've been at the nay fucking deer, you bounce off of the bottom if you're able to. You are then forever unstoppable because you've seen the abyss. You've been in the abyss and you have crawled out of the abyss. And that's exactly where your mind has to go. If you haven't reached rock bottom, you've got to trick yourself into thinking you have. Because once I did, I stopped caring at all about the opinions of others. And he's discussing the same thing. As a director, he doesn't want to even worry about anything other than doing what he believes is the correct course of action.
Take that leap.
In the directing, you mean?
Yeah, because as an actor, I got real cold and had a couple of movies that didn't work, and then all of a sudden it can be kind of over for you. That's why it's a tough business. Fuck yeah, man.
This is, okay, so I told you guys that Matt Damon has a famous quote saying Hollywood gives you 3 bombs. And if you have 3, it's over, right? And he's drilling on this because obviously friends with Damon. And I told you guys the funny story just quickly. When I interviewed Aaron Paul for the Need for Speed, bad film, right? That video game adaptation. I sat in and the first question I asked Aaron Paul was, have you heard the Matt Damon quote that you only get 3 bombs and then your career's over? That's who I am.
There's no seniority, there's no tenure, there's no retirement, there's no gold watch. If your show doesn't work or your movie doesn't work and nobody wants to hire you, they're just gonna hire someone else.
And that's the issue with Hollywood, too. That's why Shia LaBeouf, everybody's trying to get on the good side of these people who hire people because they can't create the content on their own. Affleck can because he has the power. But if you're a young and up-and-coming actor, you are beholden on the studios / agents to get you in the door and then the studios to hire you. And then if they don't want to hire you, you have no career. So it's really dangerous, man. Acting in Hollywood is playing with a loaded gun, right? And a lot of times you're going to pull the trigger. There's not a bullet. And at one time, watch out. It's over. Because that is how ruthless this town is. We'll talk about the studio in a few minutes because I think it hammers it tonight with the Golden Globes episode. But no question that what he's talking about is that this town will end you in a second and they won't think twice about you ever again.
There's 130,000 people in SAG and there's only 30,000 people that work every year, right?
And by the way, he means just at all. 100,000 at least, right? Doing the numbers here. They don't work at all. Zero.
And then there's a even smaller amount of those roles where, you have more than 2 lines. So it's very tough, right? And so if you're not, people aren't watching, they're not coming, or it's not interesting, see you later.
Exactly. And then this town also operates on, if you get hot, then you can ride that like someone at a fucking casino and turn into Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney, right? We've seen their meteoric rise. And do I think they both deserve a spot? Sydney probably a little bit less. Glenn for sure. But I mean, Sydney, we know why. She's super cute, right? And we also know the 2 reasons, okay? There's clearly. But she's also okay as an actress. I don't think she's great. She's good in that HBO movie where she played the CIA document leaker. But she's just playing a really muted version of, she's just doing herself. It's just the film is so low key that it works. But if you do not have that luck, the Glenn Powell golden touch, you could toil out here forever. Just quickly before I forget, this is a story. You guys remember that show Seacraft it was the Spielberg submarine move show. It was on Sunday nights. It was like Seawolf or Seacraft, whatever it was. Okay. But here's what I'm getting. There's a kid named Jonathan Brandice. He was a big young actor up and coming. Well, he all of a sudden stopped working. He hung himself in his apartment complex in Hollywood because the roles stopped coming. He grew up, he aged out, and he never worked again, and he always wanted to work, and he never could again. He already had peaked in life. And let me tell you one thing. I am so glad. I'm not saying I've peaked, because I definitely never peaked. I've just had whatever. But here's the key. I don't think it was ever good to peak young. If you peaked at like 20, and it's all going to be downhill. Your drugs, depression, all that, suicide. Because you are sitting there saying to yourself, it's never coming back. And it got dark. You talk about depression. He's obviously not with us anymore. But that's what we're talking about. This town makes or breaks people. And if you don't have the strength, right, the thick skin to withstand that, you are not going to make it mentally at all. And even if you do, it still might be financially too much for you to handle because we all have to make money. I mean, that's the thing. If you're in Hollywood and you're not acting, you're not working, and the jobs are going somewhere else like they are now, you're sitting here going, shit, apartments out here are expensive. It's not cheap. So you need to figure something out.
Have you ever made a movie that you didn't put out or that wasn't put out?
Oh, yeah. Early on, I made a bunch of movies that were like independent movies that they didn't have like distribution. They had like a studio that said, "Okay, we're paying for this, and when it's finished, we're going to put a bunch of money in advertising."
So he's saying you finish your film, right? Independent film, you take it to a Sundance. You try to get it into anywhere, Cannes. That's obviously huge, but Sundance is a great jumping off spot. Slam Dance, all those festivals get you to have a buyer, hopefully, for your film. Otherwise, you just put all your work into it and it went nowhere.
You got to spend a bunch more money to advertise a movie after you make it.
Right.
And, or at least, and that's one of the big things that's changing. Now people are like, okay, how can we do this in a more intelligent way? Because all that money spent on television commercials is just wasted now. And that's as one.
Amen.
I'm here. Like this is a much more effective way to do it.
Isn't that funny? Now it's all about getting on Theo Von, who apparently is a big podcaster, or Rogan, right? That's bigger than advertising on TV. Who watches TV? I mean, like live television. Nobody. YouTube's the number one. Do you guys know this? YouTube's the number one platform in all of entertainment. Better than Netflix, bigger than obviously any movies. Excuse me, any networks, anything. YouTube is the number one provider of entertainment time for people and their eyeballs. And listen, if you're watching on X, we're on YouTube. That's my channel, Midnight Movie Talk, MMT. So go there, like, subscribe, because then you can watch the old stuff. A lot of times I delete the stuff on X. I show it live and then I delete it. So you can watch it again if you go to X.
You know what I mean? And
yeah, dude. It seems exciting. Well, here's the thing. I think when you tell me that it's good, I honestly think that I believe you that it's going to be good.
Oh, wow. He sounds like me then. I think, right? Does anybody in this space have more authenticity and true objectivity and absolute confidence when I say something's good, you guys believe me, right? I have more credibility than I would say virtually anyone in the entire space. I think that's fair. I really do. I think you guys know it too. Come in and tell me if I'm right. I'm right.
I'm telling the truth. The movie's really good. I wouldn't be like, if you had a movie that wasn't good, You kind of do a few of the basic things, and because look, this
you hear him? He sounds like me. That sounds exactly like me. If I have a stream, this wasn't a good stream. But if it's good, I'm like, it was good, right? And I do the same thing with the movies. They're good. I love them. If they don't like them, you know it. I mean, you just know. Look at a stream like Anora. Go back and watch that when I come out of the theater. I'm angry. I'm pissed. The Babylon stream was all time, and they had maybe take it down. I deleted it. That was the dumbest move ever. I'm so sorry, guys. That was one of the best nights of me just going off on a microphone for over an hour immediately after the world premiere of Babylon in Beverly Hills.
It's going to turn out like, it's going to be a bell curve one way or the other. The better you are, you're going to move your bell curve a little bit further down and have a better chunk of movies. But I got about like 12 movies that I really love and I'm proud of, and about 25 that are like, I like this, I didn't like that, and about 10 or 12, whatever, that are like, that's fucking terrible. I hate this.
At least he's honest, and you can kind of tell, right? And like he said, you're not going to get out in front of it. And I would be terrible as a star, right? Because I would say, this isn't good. I don't want to even promote it. I just don't even want to show up for anything. And if I believed in it, I'd be like, where do you want me to go? Because that's what I do, right? Whenever I come out of a movie that I love, I'll talk about it forever. If I hate it, I'll also talk about it forever, because I'm not going to let the narrative paint the picture that Anora is a great film. I'm never going to allow that. I'm not going to allow that on my watch. Why would I allow the narrative to tell you that Anora is a true Best Picture winner? You got to be kidding me. I'll rage against that forever. Every stream I'll go off on Anora, because I'm not going to live in a world where we live in falsehoods. And that's total bullshit, bogus garbage when you tell me that Anora was the best film of last year. It's embarrassing. It's not. It's so far from the truth that I will, and this is why I get so violent on these streams and so angry and agitated, because I am furious that we have allowed some segment of the population to say that this is good when it's not. That's when I get angriest, right? If it's just a film that everyone's like, whatever, and I don't like it, it's fine. When you see me get the most agitated is when I've had to live through cycles of these early screenings saying this is the best movie. You've got our boy Soup saying, oh my God, the best movie I've ever seen. And then what? And then you go to see it and you go, what the hell are you talking about? Gladiator 2, the greatest movie ever? What are we doing? What are you talking about? But that's the world we live in. We live in a world of bullshit, and people get to say anything, and everyone's opinion counts. No, it doesn't. No, sorry, it doesn't. There are people who are a lot better than others, and I happen to be one of them. Sorry, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you guys. Listen, I've proven myself how many times? 1 billion times here. Let's watch the trailer for Together. I have not seen it yet. This is the Dave Franco and Allison Brie. They're married, in case you didn't know. They still are. I hope they are. I think they are. And this is the trailer for the Neon movie that comes out. By the way, get ready. It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's got to be a masterpiece. Let's watch the trailer, and then I will react. Here we go. I haven't seen it. First time. This is a debut watch.
I love you.
Okay, I'm going to pause for a second and just say this. Neon is as erratic a studio as anyone out there. One film, I'm like, this is truly the best thing I've seen this year. Go back and look at Handling the Undead. Tiny film from them last year. At the top of my best films of last year, right? And then you get Anora. And you're like, what the right? That's them. They are manic.
What's going on?
I don't know. Since the move, Tim and I haven't been on the same page.
Please, do you love each other?
Maybe we're just complacent.
Imagine.
I like his mullet. That's one thing I want to give a positive to. Thumbs up for the mullet.
I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right. Well, you know, complacency can sometimes simply be so happy together. Harmony.
Is it really horror? We'll find out.
You know, this could be the beginning
Roll over, you're on my hair.
of something wonderful.
Tim.
We spend our lives in search of the other half. If You think you found that? Don't be so quick to let it go.
I think something's happening.
Okay,
to us.
let's find out if it gives us full body chills. That's a little much.
Listen to me. Listen to me. We've got to get out of here. Now.
I don't trust any of these motherfuckers anymore. You guys know that. I can't trust any of them. Not In Session, not the Mary Sue, or whatever it was. I can't trust. You guys, can you trust? Just be honest with me. Can you trust any of these people? Hell no. Hell no. We have more credibility in any of these publications. Not even a contest.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Billy, wake up!
You'll be okay. Whiskey for the pain.
Okay, I'm sure there's one more thing I'm not going to watch. I don't even know what to make of this, but I guess that's a good trailer. Give Neon some credit because they made a trailer that was a little bit obscure and a little bit hard to figure out. That's I like that. I like a nebulous trailer versus we have to sit here and we know everything that's going to happen in the film. That's what Universal does. And so many times you go to the movie and you're like, I saw this all in the trailer. So at least here, Neon again has done a good job of not giving us the entire film. And so often they do just that. They give us the entire film. By the way, I am now the only person pushing the buttons. Gone Girl had to run off. So if you want to get in the comments, and I'll get to it, please do me a favor. Give me a super chat. I don't care if it's 99 cents. I'm not just doing, honestly, listen to me. I'm not doing this because I'm asking you to, I'm telling you I won't see it otherwise. I'm going to try to get to it at the end. But right now, I just can't get to everything. Thank you, Steve. You're the man. See, I just like that, I saw that because those go into a separate folder where I can see it, okay? So, therefore, I can get to it faster. Even if it's $1, I don't care. It just makes it easier for me. I'm just saying. I swear to you, I'm not trying to sell this. You guys ready for our shill of the week? Are you going to see? You're not going to be surprised. Are you ready for, do I even have, oh, yes, I do. I do have it ready. You guys ready? Here comes our shill of the week. He has been our shill of the week multiple times. Everybody right now, I'm on my own. But here's my question. Can you guess the shill of the week right now? Come in with the comments. Everybody come in with a comment and you guess who the shill of the week is, and we will show it to you here in seconds. Give me 1 second. I have it ready. I have it ready. You can't see it yet, though. Who is it? Who's our shill of the week? He's won this title multiple times. He's a multiple award winner. It is not Sean Fennessy. That guy's a fraud. He's a film fraud. He's a shill. He's kind of a shill. This guy's a straight up shill. It's not Eric Davis. It's not Eric Davis. It's someone who is like Eric Davis, but not Eric Davis. And it's not Brandon Davis. Everybody, I don't think you, of course you know. Come on, it's not Eric Davis. It's not Frosty. It's not Frosty the Showman. It's not Eric Ashley. It's not Naglia. Luce, you're doing so great. It's not Gore. Gore's definitely, he's an anti-woke phony, but he's not, I don't know. Yes, Vic, ladies and gentlemen, our shill of the week is our boy Soups, everybody, because he's done it again. You guys ready to watch? Remember, whenever I show you this shit, it's not my fault. I didn't make this content. I'm just showing you our boy Soups. Get ready. You guys, I should have free MMT vomit bags available for you. Here he is, shilling out for A24. Give me 1 second. I got to pop the volume. I don't know. Do I really want to pop the volume again? All right, here he comes. Everybody, he's got an announcement. You guys ready to hear it? Here he is.
If you live in Miami, next Tuesday, I'm throwing an event celebrating A24's newest film, Friendship. You guys know how crazy the events we've done in the past have gotten, and now I'm excited to finally do an event in Miami. The event is completely free. All you have to do is sign up by clicking the link in my bio and filling up.
Why does he say clicking like that? Clicking the link. Why can't he just say clicking? I understand the accent, but I'm just saying.
That form.
Right?
Friendship stars Tim Robbins.
I know I say millions. I know I say some things certain ways.
And Paul Rudd. And it's basically about a guy who trusts the...
Okay, this is a total promo spot from A24. They're paying for him to either fly to Miami and do this screening, or they're giving him a trip because he's going to... I think he lives here. He's like 3 feet tall. Sorry. Listen, I'm not 3 feet tall. If I were, they'd say I'm 3 feet tall. They don't say I'm 3 feet tall. So he's 3 feet tall. I think he lives here, but A24 is flying him to Miami. If he lives there, then he's either way. They're giving him something for doing this.
Befriend his neighbor, and after they end up bonding for a while, that neighbor ends up turning him down. And then
why is he holding the microphone? Is that cool? It's not cool. It looks stupid.
All sort of craziness ends up happening as this one man is in the pursuit.
We had the reaction the other night. It's not great. Friendship has some cool things, but overall, the detriment is the surreal nature of it and the fact that it has all this absurdities occurring in the film that take you totally out of the film. But thanks. Let's continue. Let's let him finish his promo.
Of friendship. The film has been getting great reviews so far, and I think it's just so important that we support original comedies like this.
Oh, look at him. He's reading a script. Do you see that? Watch his eyes. One more time. Okay. His eyes were forward. His eyes looked up. He is reading a script and or has cue cards in front. It's probably a script. They sell script teleprompters. I don't have one. I got a camera in front of me. That's all I got. I don't have a teleprompter. You guys should probably tell that. But he's reading it. Because A24 gave him the copy. Oh, I'm sorry, A24. Oh, am I on your shit list again? Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I'm going to cry. Like you're ever going to hire me for shit. I'd come in there and fix your fucking studio. You make some dumb fucking decisions. But nope, he's the white guy. We got to have plenty of diversity. It's all about diversity. Weber could never host one of these. Well, of course I couldn't, because I wouldn't say Friendship's great. I'd be lying.
So like that, we could end up getting more and more. These are the details for the event going down in Miami the night of
Tuesday,
this is
so
May 13th.
long. It's my fault.
We have a ton of surprises in store, and there's also going to be an after party available to everyone who shows up.
Okay, so A24 is 100% paying for this because there's an after party. He's not paying for it. A24 is either flying him to Miami and paying for all of it. They're already paying for everything. Right? The screening, they rent one of the rooms at the local Miami theater. Okay, you saw wherever it was. As far as getting him there, if he's in LA, which I believe he is, they are flying him round trip from Los Angeles to Miami to sit here and chill for A24 and try to get a younger demo in on this film that's really they're not interested in it. It's not great, but they're trying. But here's the problem. This is not a journalist. This is a fucking influencer. And these are the people that are ruining this space. They are destroying the fabric of society, I dare say. It starts with something as innocuous as soups, and it ends up being world domination. Not by him, but by the bad guys. Because we let this MFer do his little bullshit thing with A24 because A24 wants to pay him to run a screening in Miami. Oh, but Weber's the bad guy. Hell no. How many times I got to tell you this? I'm the hero, man. I'm the hero. This is the bad guy. Stop pretending otherwise, film Twitter. You bunch of nobodies. Oh, Weber's bad-mouthing. Because you are. You're a bunch of weirdos who can't even ascertain who's the good guy and the bad guy. I'm the fucking hero. That's the villain. Get it straight. Tired of having this conversation with you, film Twitter. I know, we probably don't get much reception in your parents' fucking basement.
I really want to do more events in other places, and this is our first step in taking that leap. So show up, show out, and bring that energy.
Oh, God. So bad. I'm sorry, guys. That's 100%. I know for a fact he didn't see Warfare? Oh, my God. What the hell? Then what's he talking about? Did he mention Warfare? I missed it. How do these... Johnny, I ask this question all the time. How do these shills look themselves, says the guy wearing the pink shades? Look, they come off, okay? I've got eyes. This is the Sunday night outfit. Just deal. Also, it matches the Arsenal kit tonight. Do you see? This is 100%. I just need a pink watch. Damn it, I need a pink watch. But otherwise, this is the perfect ensemble for Sunday night. So, listen, how do they look in the mirror and take themselves? It's so hard to say with the outfit I have on. But listen, I can look at myself in the mirror and say I am not a shill, right? You guys know that. Has anyone ever, in the history of all of the online hatred towards MMT, well, towards me, the MMT is just the offshoot, the brand. Has anyone ever called me a shill? It's never happened. They never have. Because they can't. That's what I love, right? Here's what I love doing, and then we'll get into another trailer reacts. I just wanted to make sure everyone knows that A24 is paying Soups to host this event and a party. So A24, if you don't like it, I got news for you. Don't do it. If you don't like me telling you that you shouldn't be paying to fly in shills to shill for your friendship movie that's not even that great, then you shouldn't be doing that. I'm not the bad guy. A reminder for you, A24 and everyone else, I'm the hero. I'm not the bad guy because I'm not a shill. Not for sale, baby. Damn straight, says the guy in the pink shields. Not for sale. I wouldn't do that. I would, first of all, if I did, because of who I am, I would say A24 is fronting this whole thing. I believe in the film, but A24 is funding this entire thing because that's who I am. That's who I am. I will never not disclose that. Why would? Because I told you guys, if we ever get a sponsor, AMC, I love AMC. I always offer them. I go a little hard, and I just said Film Twitter lives in their parents' basements and they're losers. That's a little hard. Too bad. I'm allowed to do what I want to do. It's my show. But if I get any kind of sponsor, you guys know that I believe in the product. How often do I, extol the virtues of Black Cherry Clear American from Walmart? My favorite. This is the best seltzer in the world. If you've never had this and you've never been to Walmart, you need to make a trip to Walmart tomorrow and you need to get this right here. Clear American, tastes like it has sugar, but it has, can you see that? Zero calories, because some of us are trying to keep our six packs. Not a lot in this space, that's for sure. Not a lot of people in this space are even dreaming of that. But, I don't know, Johnny. How do they look themselves in the mirror? I honestly don't know how you, as anybody, wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, I'm a shill and I'm proud of it. I don't understand the mindset, because for me, it's all about authenticity, and either I believe in it or I do not. And like you just heard Affleck talk about in that sound clip with Theo Von, whoever that is, I say that like I know. Honestly, I have no idea who Theo Von is. I have no fucking clue. Here's what I'll say is that if I don't have that commodity, which is my authenticity and my objectivity, I have nothing. That's the way I view it. And for these people, they don't see it that way, man. They just don't see it that way. And I can't fix it. It's just those are who they are, and we have to live with it. But I'm glad that you guys know that I'm not a shill. That makes me feel good when I go to bed at night and wake up in the morning. Weber's not a shill. Film Twitter can't even say it. They can't. If they try, they're lying. They're Pinocchio and the nose will start growing. Let's do a trailer number 2. I have not watched this yet either. Remember, these things are all, and then we're going to talk about Studio Episode 8, Golden Globes. Got a lot to say about that. Here is Godzilla X Kong. This is Godzilla X Kong 3, right? And this one is called Supernova. I have not watched this. It's a teaser. It's in production. Comes out in 2025. 52 seconds. My first watch of Godzilla X Kong Supernova here on MMT Sunday night. Thanks for being here live as always.
Thank you for calling Monarch Community Support Line.
This just in, there have been a number of Titan sightings today all over the globe.
Okay, so are we assuming that it's Mega Godzilla? Some kind of like techno Godzilla? I don't know. I just know that the last one was not great. I had to suffer through that. The first one was okay. I mean, and this is a kid who used to love Godzilla movies when I was little. I used to watch Fritz the Night Owl in Columbus, Ohio. I've talked about that. It was a Friday night drive-in theater kind of thing. They showed Godzilla. That's where I was first exposed to John Carpenter's The Fog, one of my favorite horror films of all time, the atmosphere in The Fog. Oh, God, so great. Not just the atmosphere of The Fog, the atmosphere of that film, right? The setting of small town coastal California. Oh, so good. What was the name of that town? Oh my God, literally I should know that. And Antonio Bay. Just for a sec, it's live, guys. Whatever her name, Stevie's radio station. Forget it. It's all gone now. I've been over an hour doing this live. Antonio Bay. Okay, let's get into the studio, episode 8, because this is a return to form. I've talked about how this season really peaked early. You look at the Oner. Brilliant episode, one of the best episodes of any show I've ever watched. I don't watch a lot of episodic television, as you guys know, but over the years, of course I did, growing up and even into the 2000s. Lately, it's all about theatrical, but this film, as you guys know, the studio with Seth Rogen as Matt Remick, the fictional head of Continental Studios, which is essentially Warner Brothers, right? Everything's shot at Warner Brothers. This episode takes place at the Golden Globes. I've discussed this before. I have been to the Globes at least 3 times, okay? One time was actually in the room, not for long. I went in for a little bit and I had to walk out. They escorted me out. The other times I was in the after parties waiting. So we watch on you. What happens is if you get invited as press or just invited by Universal in the day. Now it's CBS, but Universal was really cool and invited me a number of times. I got to hang out in the HFPA room and then the Universal party. And let me tell you, there's nothing like the Golden Globes, okay? So to be able to watch this episode, having been in the Beverly Hilton multiple times for the actual event, it is a different level. And I got to tell you, it is everything that night is. You feel just he nailed the setting, right? Obviously, it's shot there in the room, in the ballroom, everything. You got all the celebrities that are in that episode. So authenticity is just so dead on in episode 8 of the studio. It is also brilliant in the way, as the Oner was, episode 2, of carrying through the thread throughout the entire episode, which we've seen over and over in this show. But this time, it works because the Globes are such a bedrock of Hollywood, and we're on site. We're dealing with him. Is he going to get the mention in Zoe Kravitz's acceptance speech when she wins for Best Comedy or Musical, the movie Open, if I'm not mistaken? Just watched it like minutes before I started the stream. But the brilliance of this episode is the callbacks of Sal, right? Sal comes up over and over in this, which is amazing because, as you know, if you've watched this episode, Seth, is hoping that he'll be called out by Zoe because Matt's mom is at home and wants to hear her baby's name announced to the world on the Golden Globes. But instead, the guy he works with, Sal Saperstein, constantly gets called out throughout the evening by Adam Scott and then everyone who goes up on stage. That's brilliant, right? And then in the end, the way it finishes, it's just perfection. Guys, this is a very strong episode and it's a return to form, and I had a blast watching this, especially living here in LA, going to the Golden Globes. Wow, if you can't ever get there, which a lot of you never will, I mean, it's just the reality. I can't believe I got a chance to go. Let me tell you, this episode will put you in the Beverly Hilton, and it also makes fun of influencers. It's just really smart. One of my favorite episodes of the year, if not right there with Oner, right? Those are my 2 favorites. Let's hope 9 and 10 are great. I can watch them tonight. I'm waiting. I'm trying to watch them as the weeks progress so that I can talk about them after you've had a chance, because I don't need to be the first guy, okay? I could watch the whole thing. I could have watched the whole thing after the first week. I decided to wait. That's just how I am. I'm going to worry about I've got to be the first person to respond to it. I mean, I'm going tomorrow night, bringing it back to that, and then we'll go to the comment blast closeout here tonight. Bringing it back to tomorrow night with Mission Impossible 8, why am I actually going to a screening? Because I loved certainly the last Mission Impossible, but you go back to this franchise, the close, everything that you've talked about in big 4-quad, tentpole, massive budget, globe-spanning cinema. This is what I want to watch. So I am going to make the trek across town for you guys, for me, okay, for me tomorrow to watch this, and we will have an out-of-theater reaction for Mission Impossible 8 tomorrow night. That is going to be at roughly 10 o'clock here in Los Angeles, because what we have is a very late screening. It's a 3-hour film. So for me, it's going to be a bit of a hustle to get from essentially Century City to here and get on the air. It'll be short. I bet you 15 minutes max. I'll come on. I will not spoil anything because these are one of these "this is not a review," and I want to get ready for that tomorrow. So I'm going to get ready to sign off here in a second. Get ready. The box office from now through the end of 2026 is going to be off. It's great, Marvin. Off the chain, no question. We're in a great spot. I'm excited that we are finally seeing the light. Obviously, Minecraft was so big towards that. And then Sinners, the runaway smash that it is for what it is, right? Almost $300 million on the worldwide on that film. Over $200 million here stateside. Has a real chance to have more money than Thunderbolts domestically. It could actually do that. Thunderbolts down 55%. Watch Breaking Box Office from earlier. It's on the MMT channel on YouTube if you want to watch my reaction to the box office this morning. We don't really do too much of that on Sunday night because I have that entire stream going on tomorrow in the morning. Make that. Tomorrow night we have our thing. Let me find the song that we're going to close out on. Let's see. Let's do this. I like this song. This song's really great. I have never played this song, and it's really long, and I might have to pause. I'm going to read some comments. I'll get to them. But this is a track that I have listened to repeatedly in the past 2 years, and it was essential for me. Here we go. When I was rebuilding my life. So it's got a spiritual side to it. It's Shia. I don't even know how to say it. Shia Pacifica, Sultan and Shepherd remix here on this Sunday night. A couple comments before we get out of here. I might play it again sometime, like a whole song. It's fucking great. Really great song. All right, let's see how many comments I can get to. Thanks for super chats for both of you, for Steve and for Marvin. Thanks for tonight. You guys are awesome. Anybody else? Let's see if I can get to as many as possible here tonight. Space Godzilla. I guess Mecha Godzilla, right? I guess that's right. When the build comes, I'm going to have to stop talking. I'm from Celsi of Aldi Seltzers. This is definitely not subtle. This has a real sugary blast to it. All right, when this thing kicks off, I'm just going to let it play. So I might not get to everyone's comments tonight. But remember, tomorrow night, we are going to be live again here discussing Mission Impossible 8, the final reckoning? I don't even know what it's called. Tomorrow night live, we'll have it. When this thing kicks off, I'm going to just shut the mic down. You're going to listen to it on the way out and just have the song play. But it's going to be fun tomorrow night, guys. Mission Impossible 8, I bet I like it. We'll find out tomorrow night live from the City of Angels. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow night. Here comes the close of this track. See you tomorrow night. Peace out.